The pause that changes everything. We've all been there, staring at our phones, fingers hovering over the keyboard, about to send that text. Maybe it's a message you've already typed. Maybe it's a last-ditch effort to reach out, to say something you think might fix everything. We've all been caught in that cycle, texting, waiting, hoping for a response. But here's the truth we often avoid. Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is simply not text her anymore. Instead, step back. The world moves at such a fast pace that we often don't realize how draining it is, how we're constantly seeking validation, waiting for someone else to give us what we think we need. But what if the key to clarity and peace is in those moments of silence, in taking that step back? Why you need to step back. It's easy to convince ourselves that by texting we can fix things, find closure, or keep someone's attention. But often, that effort just prolongs the inevitable. You see, reaching out again and again doesn't change the situation. It only keeps you stuck in the same loop. It's a cycle that drains your energy and keeps you waiting for something that might never come. The moment you stop reaching out, something changes. It's not just the situation. It's you. You start to take control. It's hard to let go, to stop texting, to step back, but it's often the first step towards healing. When you step back, you stop chasing answers and start giving space to the things that really matter, like your own emotional well-being and growth. The power of self-reflection. When you stop texting, you start to listen to yourself. In that quiet, in that pause, you're no longer distracted by someone else's response or lack of it. You've created the space for self-reflection. You can finally ask, "What do I need?" without seeking it externally. I learned this through experience. I spent so much time trying to reach out, trying to repair something that was no longer working, only to realize that my focus was in the wrong place. I wasn't reflecting on my needs, my values, or my goals. I was too busy waiting for someone else's validation. Once I stopped texting, once I stepped back, I realized how much I had been ignoring my own growth, my own priorities. When you take a step back, you begin to see things more clearly. It's not about the other person. It's about you. It's about your journey, your growth, and the path you need to take to become the best version of yourself. And sometimes that means stepping away from situations that no longer serve you. The wisdom of space. Space. It's not just physical, it's emotional, mental, and spiritual. When you give someone space, you're not abandoning them. You're allowing them the room to be themselves, and you're allowing yourself the room to find peace. Space is where clarity is born. But it's hard, isn't it? To stop texting, to stop trying to fix things, to stop being the one who reaches out. I've been there. I get it. You fear that if you don't text, things will fall apart, that you'll be forgotten, that things will slip away. But often it's the opposite. When you step back, the space you create allows for growth, understanding, and peace. It allows for the right things to come into focus. In relationships, when we're too close, we can't see clearly. Stepping back gives you perspective. It's like a photographer taking a few steps back to get a better shot. The same is true for your life and relationships. Sometimes, to see things clearly, you need to create space. Letting go and trusting yourself. There's power in letting go. Letting go of the need to control, to keep chasing, to keep texting. It's not about giving up on the person. It's about giving up on the unhealthy pattern that keeps you stuck. You can't control how someone else behaves, how they respond, or whether they even respond at all. What you can control is how you choose to respond by choosing to step back. The truth is, you're not defined by anyone else's response or lack of it. You're defined by your ability to stand on your own, to be content with yourself, to trust that you don't need anyone's approval to feel whole. Once I learned this lesson, I understood that by stepping back, I wasn't losing anything. I was gaining everything. I gained clarity, peace, and self-respect. And as I stopped texting, I realized that what I truly wanted wasn't the response from that person. It was the freedom to live my life without waiting for someone else to dictate my worth. The calm after the storm. There's a peace that comes after you've let go, after you've stepped back. It's not instant, but it's real. It's the calm after the storm of constant texting, constant thinking about what to say, wondering how things might turn out. Once you stop, you realize that you're not waiting for anything anymore. You're just living. And that's the true power of stepping back. You stop waiting for someone else to dictate your emotions, and you start living in the present. You begin to find joy in the simple moments, without worrying about the texts you haven't sent or the conversations you haven't had. You begin to reconnect with yourself, and that connection is worth more than any message. Conclusion: step back and watch what happens. So, if you're thinking about texting her, take a moment, step back, breathe. Ask yourself what you truly need in this moment. Is it a response? Or is it your own peace, your own growth, your own clarity? Sometimes the best thing you can do is nothing. And by doing nothing, you're doing everything you need to do. Trust yourself. Trust that stepping back is the way forward. The answers will come when they're meant to. Step back and watch your life unfold in ways you never expected. You've got this.